Welcome to the Action Network studio in New York City. I'm Maria Marino, and this is Green Dot Daily. We're live weekdays at 3 Eastern on our YouTube channel and the Action app, but this will be our last show before a summer break. So let's go out on a high note. Today, we will give out MLB picks, we'll recap the Stanley Cup final, and even get you some plays on some more obscure sports. But we start with golf as the U.S. Open gets underway Thursday in Los Angeles. Scottie Scheffler has the shortest odds to win the event at plus 600. Next is Jon Rahm at plus 1,000, Brooks Koepka at plus 1,100, and Rory McIlroy at plus 1,200. With that, we welcome in Action Network writer Jason Sobel, who joins us from LA Country Club. Give us a little preview of the North Course and what we should expect.
Maria, this place is really cool. I took a couple spins around this golf course already this week, and boy, it's different. It's rustic. It's natural. There's going to be a ton of interesting side hill lies. I think players are going to be need to be very creative, artistic even on the golf course this week. I think if it shows out on TV the way it looks in person here in Los Angeles, I think the course is going to be the superstar by the end of the week, and all the players, they're just going to be the supporting actors. But because of that, I'm looking at the players who are the most creative, artistic players to play well this week.
Well, let's go ahead and get your for the event, and I don't want to jinx you, but kudos are in order. You have hit your last 3 consecutive outright picks. So who are you picking to win at the US Open?
Ain't no victory laps here. We just go right back at it. And I'm going to Cameron Smith with my favorite outright play. Look, I talk about creativity. I talk about artists, and he is a guy that loves to, first of all, work the ball both ways off the tee. Secondly, this guy that can get up and down from literally anywhere. My podcast partner on the Links and Locks pod, Ben Everell, was following him on the golf course during a practice round yesterday. Sent me a video of Cam Smith, 1 foot in the bunker, 1 foot about 4 feet above, and he hit this big old flop shot right at the hole. And I mean, there aren't a whole lot of players that can pull this off. Getting up and down is going to be at a premium this week, making those pars, saving pars. Cameron Smith does it better than anybody else. I love him, and I love the number on him. A lot of the live players, other than Brooks Koepka, still have a little bit undervaluing in the marketplace right now. I think Cameron Smith is a really nice play with a really nice number this week.
Okay, how about a long shot? More of a long shot.
Yeah, I'm sticking with live players. Again, they are undervalued, and I think the odds makers are essentially pushing us in that direction. Patrick Reed is a player that we know can win a big-time event. He's won a Masters already, finished 4th at Augusta National 2 months ago, 18th at Oak Hill for the PGA Championship last month. Another guy, yet again, I'm staying with this theme, who can get up and down from the proverbial garbage can. He's done it for years, and I know that we haven't seen that much of him recently, but on a major championship stage, this could be right up his alley.
Yes, 2 live golfers, as you mentioned, on the heels of last week's merger. Any other picks you want to leave us with?
Yes, I'm going to give you a prop play. There are a few other players that I like, but Siwoo Kim has finished in the top 7 in 3 of his last 6 starts. Siwoo had a reputation for the first handful of years of his career as having a massive ceiling, but also a bottomless floor. When he played badly, he played really badly. He's become much more consistent now. 18 made cuts and 21 starts this season. I expect another good one on a fast, firm golf course, which should suit his game. He's won before in California. He's played well on linksy golf course. I don't know if I'd call this a links course, but at least linksy, fast and firm. A couple other names: Ricky Fowler, Ryan Fox, really like them, with bigger numbers for prop plays this week as well.
Sounds good. And for more golf analysis and predictions, make sure you check out the Gimme at 5:30 Eastern on our YouTube and Twitter pages. Jason, thanks, and enjoy the tournament.
Thanks, Maria.
Green Dot Daily is presented by BetMGM. Use bonus code ACTION when signing up to get up to $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. To baseball, and the Subway Series continues tonight from Citi Field with Garrett Cole and the Yankees taking on Justin Verlander and the Mets. 78% of bets and 87% of money is coming in on the Yankees, who took game one 7-6 on Tuesday. With that, we welcome in our MLB extraordinaire, Charlie DiSturco. How do you see this game between the Yanks and Mets playing out?
Yeah, not taking a side in a high-scoring game. At least that's what I expect. The total 7.5. I think that the over has a great look here. Garrett Cole, he has an expected ERA of 4, which is his career worst since 2017. He's not been the same pitcher that he once was, or at least in the last few years. There's a lot of concern with him. You look at his numbers, strikeouts are down. His expected batting average is down. His barrel rate is up. His whiff rate is down. He's not getting as many strikeouts. So when that all happens and that coins together, the Mets, they don't strike out that much. They put the ball in play, albeit they're not an amazing offense. But I think that they're able to get some runners on and do some damage here against Cole. I've been fading him throughout his last few starts, especially that last one against Boston. And the same can be said for Justin Verlander. His numbers are among the worst since 2017. He's in the bottom 20% of all pitchers in average exit velocity. His strikeouts also extremely down. So two pitchers that haven't been getting the same strikeout rate that they have in the past. Verlander, his expected ERA 4.11. So both are for Cole and Verlander, not pitching as well as they have in recent years. So I like the over here. If you watched last night's game, the balls just seem to be flying off the bat. I don't know if it's the juiced balls that are being sent out for a Subway Series or just the matter of the fact that the bullpens are also, well, the Mets bullpen is horrendous. So I think that we see a lot of runs here at Citi Field.
All right, noted on the over, but I did want to just get some quick thoughts from you on the Mets in general. You mentioned Verlander hasn't really met his expectations and they have a horrendous bullpen. I mean, does that pretty much sum up their problems?
Yeah, I mean, the Mets, they threw money at their problems and hoped it all went away. And for the Mets, it's not going to go away. I think there's a lot of problems here. And, you were in the office when I was screaming about Buck and wanting his head gone. It's not even a Buck issue. It's at this point, I think it starts at the top of the GM and Epler and just the players that they brought in. The talent is not amazing. Obviously, we just did not, or the Mets, not we, did not address the bullpen issues. And with Diaz going down, the lack of depth is really hurting this team. And they really need starting pitching help, and they're not getting it.
Yeah, it's been disappointing. Mets currently 4th in the NL East, 9.5 games back of the Braves. All right, you have a column on Action Network called DiSturco's Triple Sevens. You wrote about 3 bets today. Can you share one with us?
Yeah, so preface it, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I release my triple sevens. It's been a couple weeks now, I think 2 or 3. And this is my favorite triple sevens that I've put out. And I'm going to give you one. It's Justin Turner, over 1.5 total bases. I also sprinkle on him always to hit a home run, every player in this article. Listen, Justin Turner is on fire. Over the last 5 games, he's had a multi-hit game in 4 of the 5. He's gone over 1.5 total bases in all of them. The one time he didn't have 2 hits, he had a home run against the Yanks on Sunday Night Baseball. You look at his numbers against left-handed pitching, a 169 WRC plus and a 275 isolated power. That's incredible stuff for a guy that doesn't barrel as many balls as, a typical power hitting middle of the order type of bat. But Austin Gomber's on the mound for Colorado, and I fade him every single time. I still do not understand how this man is in the big leagues, let alone AAA. He should be pitching for double or single A at this point. A 7.60 expected ERA, bottom 2% in expected batting average, expected slugging. He can't strike out batters. He's in the bottom 6% in chase rate and strikeout rate. He just is the perfect fade candidate. And when the Red Sox, they have a lot of lefties in their lineup. Well, one guy that crushes left-handed pitching and is a righty is Justin Turner. So I think he sets up for plenty of success tonight. I love him against Gomber. So I'm taking his over 1.5 total bases. I believe you can grab it around -110. I'd take it up to -120.
There you have it. Be sure to check out the Action app or website for the rest of Charlie's picks. Now, before we let you go, as you know, our show is taking a hiatus for the rest of the summer. So finish this sentence. The next time Green Dot Daily airs, ... The
Reds will be in first place of the NL Central. Listen, I bet them to make the playoffs. I bet them to win the World Series at 600 to 1. That's probably, a little bit of too lofty expectations. But I think the Cincinnati Reds are legit. This is a team that has put together their management have put together an incredible offensive lineup of youth. And that is what you want. They're going all in. They're saying, you know what? We have young talent in the minors. We're not going to waste it. We're not going to have them bide their time down there in AAA, AA. We're bringing them up to the big leagues. And obviously, Ellie De La Cruz has had so much, media publicity around him. But that doesn't even count how good Matty McClain has been, how good I guess you can even call him a veteran. He's been in the league. He's been in the league for a few years now. Johnny India. This Reds team offense, they might have the best offense in all of the NL Central. There's a lot of flaws with every team. The Reds, yes, their starting pitching has woes, but Lodolo comes back after the All-Star break. They brought up Abbott. So this team altogether, I think, are really going all in, and they set up well. And you could still grab them at a pretty lofty number to win the division. I just think the Pirates, their pitching and their bullpen and even their offense is not as good and up to par as the Reds. And the Brewers are an absolute disaster right now. They're losing right now to Minnesota again, too. So another game as they hear the Reds' footsteps creeping in behind them.
It's a bold prediction. We'll be sure to check this tape come September. Charlie DiSturco, I want to thank you for coming on the show, not only today, but all of the occasions since I joined Action Network back in March. Love having you on.
Always a pleasure. It's best time of the year.
Thanks again. Green Dot Daily is presented by BetMGM. Use bonus code ACTION when signing up to get up to $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We bring in our NHL analyst, Michael Leboff, now to recap the Stanley Cup final. What's your reaction to the Knights winning it?
Yeah, it's they deserved it. It looked like the Panthers kind of they were like the walking wounded there at the end. And I thought that Florida was a good bet with the way the market reacted to not just the news of Matthew Tkachuk being hurt, but just the way that the series had kind of played out. And turned out I was dead wrong, and the people who ate that chalk were right. So you tip your cap and move on, get ready for next year. It should be a lot of fun, just the way the odds board sets up. No clear favorite in the NHL for the first time in a couple of years. So parity is back in hockey, and that's good news for folks like me.
It sounds like you're ready to move on to the next. Just a dominant series, though, by Vegas, outscoring Florida 26-12 in the Stanley Cup final. But since you brought up next season, let's get your way to early thoughts. Obviously, 2024 odds being out. Avalanche at plus 800 seem to have the shortest odds, and your Islanders are at plus 5,000. So what are you anticipating?
Oh, I'm anticipating myself betting the Islanders at some point in the summer, because that's what I always do. And but there's a couple teams I think that are worth circling now. Los Angeles Kings, they're a goalie away from being really good. They're a good team, 2 straight playoff appearances, but they could use a solid goaltender. And it does sound like they're in on a couple big names like Saros of Nashville, perhaps Connor Hellebuck out of Winnipeg. If they significantly upgrade in goal, they're dangerous. So that's a team you want to bet before the move comes, because when it does, their odds will shorten. A team like Seattle, I think, is going to be interesting to see where they go off in terms of their opening night odds. I think the betting market will be pretty sharp on them. And we'll see, if money comes in on Seattle as this offseason goes. They have a lot of room to make upgrades. Another team that could use a goaltender. And then I'm interested to see if the Columbus Blue Jackets get any love. Particularly for me, I don't see it even as a huge long shot. But they've already been pretty busy with 2 big trades in the offseason. They got Ivan Provorov. They signed and trade for Damon Severson from the Devils, so they already upgraded their defense. But I just don't think that they're good enough around the edges yet. So that's a team I'll watch to see if people think that they can take a significant leap forward. So not interested in betting Columbus, but gonna watch them. But the one team that I think I will bet in these coming days will be Calgary Flames. They're 40-1 to win the Stanley Cup, and Calgary, kind of like what Vegas was last year. Like they were very good 2 years ago. Then they had a very funky year this season. And now the market's all out on the Flames. They're making a coaching change, just like Vegas. So if there is a Vegas effect, I think Calgary could be the team that kind of fits the bill. So 40-1 on Calgary is very interesting to me.
I'll try to remember that because I have to be honest, this time of year, I tend to forget about hockey for a while. And with the season now being complete, what are you doing with your life?
Oh no, this is when my life gets to start going. Tons of good stuff to bet on in the summer. A couple things that I really like. Cricket. I've fallen in love with cricket since the pandemic. I really love darts, which I've talked about on the show before. I like Australian football. All of these things kind of culminate in the summer months here in the States. Cricket, though, the biggest match in cricket is the Ashes. It's every other year between England and Australia, and it rotates venues. So once every 4 years in England, once every 4 years in Australia. This Friday, a couple of days from now, it starts in England. It's 5 test matches, so that's 5-day matches in a series. Whoever comes out on top in that series wins the Ashes, which is a trophy that, no joke, is about the size of your palm. And it's a huge deal. And I like Australia to win. I like Australia, if you can find them, to whitewash England, win 5-0. And I like Travis Head to be the player of the first match. He's 14-1 at BetMGM to do so. Australia just had a World Test Championship match against India in England, and Head was awesome. So I'll kind of back him to keep up that momentum going into the Ashes, which, like I said, it's a huge deal between these two countries. This is a country, England, against a country that was a former colony. So the Indias and Australias, they love to beat England more than anything because they like to beat their colonizers at their own game, and that kind of stuff bleeds into it. It's a lot of fun. The crowd's great. Give it a shot.
I did not expect to talk about cricket when I woke up this morning, but look, you mentioned darts too. Did you want to throw any picks out there for that?
Yeah, the dart calendar really starts to pick up some steam here. We've got the World Cup of darts is this week. It's not a huge tournament yet. They're trying to grow it a little bit. But there's a big one in July. There's a couple big ones towards the early fall, and then we kind of peak in December. So the World Cup is kind of the first stepping stone of the peak of the busy season for darts. And I like the Netherlands. That's Michael van Gerwen's country. He'll be playing with Danny Noppert, who's kind of just on the fringes of the top 10. He's gonna get there eventually. That they're a formidable duo. Last year's World Cup went to Australia, who were a long shot. It kind of shows you the variance of darts generally, and the fact that it's a team event, right? Like, you need both guys to just play consistently throughout. And one team that I like to maybe surprise is Northern Ireland, with Brendan Dolan and Daryl Gurney. They're not, top 10 players in the world right now, but they're both good enough that if they can just be consistent and steady, and kind of take advantage of the chaos that this tournament throws out, they could surprise. So I'll take a shot with Northern Ireland at 40-1.
Darts and cricket. What better way to close out this run of shows for Green Daily? Michael Leboff, thanks for joining us all season long. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thanks for talking cricket and darts, finally.
Remember, any picks we give out here on the show, you can easily reference by following Green Daily in the Action app. We keep track so you don't have to. Well, it's been a whirlwind 3 months or so since I started hosting Green Daily. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I also want to give a special shout out to all of our analysts. They have done such an amazing job. A special thanks as well to our production team. Too many names to list, but you know who you are. And once again, I'm Maria Marino. I look forward to seeing you all come football season.